Right, hey guys, how are we doing? Back on another video from Grand Line Review, and today we're checking out the final road. Poneglyph was here all along. Let's see where it was, shall we? I know this is going to be like a theory-esque kind of video.
We now know where the final road Poneglyph is. Sort of. We
Kind
know
of.
it's in one of 3 locations, which is still 2 more than we'd like, but it is significantly less than the infinity that existed.
Yeah, didn't we check a video out from O'Hara going over this?
We now know that this final hunk of history is either under control of the Giants, Revolutionary Army, or most terrifyingly of all,
Blackbeard, there we go.
Welcome to the Grand Line Review, your source for everything One Piece. My name is Liam, and One Piece may be on break, but we are certainly not. Because even though
it's not really on break.
Coming for quite some time, Weekly Shonen Jump is releasing a series of these teeny tiny booklets called The Road to Laugh Tale.
Yeah.
Within said booklets is information, and I'm gonna be completely honest, most of it is utterly useless stuff that we already know. However, this first
There are some nuggets.
one super important nugget. A
Oh wow, as if he
gave us 3 possible locations. This
as if he said
information
nugget.
is fascinating, shocking, enlightening, and various other adjectives. Because given our 3 choices, I think the location of the final
Blackbeard
Poneglyph has become clearer than ever. By the way, this funky stone was actually drawn by one
That's
of
really
our
cool.
amazing channel artists. And 3 lucky subscribers.
I think it'd be cool if it is with Blackbeard, man, and then that's where they gotta go now.
Requested Frankie as a toaster, and that is exactly what they got.
Yo, that's so sick.
To win, simply be subscribed to the channel and leave a 1-sentence comment with your request. And yes, you do need to be subscribed because YouTube shows me
The red symbol.
red dot thing next to your name, so there is no fooling me. You'll also receive a high quality
That's
digital
dead
copy
good.
of the request, as
Yeah,
well
I
as
want it to
additional
be
YouTube videos
with
becoming
Blackbeard.
part of the Grand Line Review history. Alright, quick Poneglyph recap. Most of what we know about these stones actually comes from a very unlikely source, which is a chicken man. Or is he an Eggman? Because just like Big Mom and Kaido after a night of passionate Yonko-level lovemaking, we don't
Jesus, the
actually know
destruction.
first. But Tamago informed us that there are a grand total of 30 poneglyphs in this world. They serve a variety of purposes, such as retelling lost history, giving directions to certain islands or objects, and there's even a whole poneglyph dedicated to a profuse apology from a certain Joy Boy.
Yeah.
Now, within these 30 poneglyphs, 9 are dubbed as the Rio Poneglyph, literally meaning the true text of history.
This is a nice little recap on these, I'm liking this.
Reveal the true history of the world, including all of the scandalous events of the Void Century, such as the nudes of the 5 Elder Stars leaking through
Whoa,
the book of
my god.
which explains why the only
That's why they don't want
response
people to
discovering
know.
this history was, he laughed, but a whopping 17 of these 30 poneglyphs are relatively unimportant in comparison, because what we're concerned with are the road poneglyphs.
Yeah, man.
Road poneglyphs are the stone equivalent of stumbling upon a shiny in Pokemon games.
Nah,
Sporting a
God.
stylish crimson reskin, these 4 stones are by far the rarest, and when the information from all 4 is slapped together by some sort of historian with a macabre sense of humor, then they will reveal the location of Laugh Tale, which is what the whole book
We're on
was
our
named
way,
after.
boys.
Road to Laugh Tale. Shueisha were not subtle about this. The first road poneglyph we encountered was on the back of a big old elephant, whilst the second was in a big old granny's treasure dungeon. The third was seen in the open flashback on Fishman Island, and the 4th is allegedly possessed by the one and only true fishman, Kaido. So at the time of this recording we have heard of 4 road poneglyphs, however we have only seen 3 with our eye things. To get some confusion out of the way, there's a common misconception that Big Mom's road poneglyph was actually the one taken from Fishman Island, which does have, admittedly, some sound logic behind it, because she did take over Fishman Island during the time skip.
That's true.
However, our Giga Granny has actually been sitting on her red cube for decades now, as we know that historical scallywag Goldie Roger was able to do the pirate equivalent of saying, "Hey, what's that behind you?" and quickly take a rubbing of it whilst
See
Big Mom was distracted by Roger's clever ruse. There's also the possibility that the poneglyph on Fishman Island is now Kaido's stone, but it's very unlikely, mostly because of questions. Questions like how and when. But then again, I suppose
They are some
like
important
who, where,
questions.
why, they're much easier to answer. But the overwhelming possibility is that this Fishman Island road poneglyph is the final of the 4 and has been moved to one of 3 locations which were revealed in the booklet. And the first location cited is the classic
Elbaf?
one that most fans tend to point to right now, which is Elbaf. And just like a good game designer, Elbaf works on so many levels. Firstly, it's a completely isolated nation.
Yeah.
They don't really participate
Giants.
in political global affairs, so if they did have a funky red cube, then this information is what I would describe as caribou in a barrel, because it's unlikely to spread too far. Secondly, even if that information was known, well, good effing luck being able to get it, because the giant army is one of, if not the most feared military.
Yeah, man, don't mess with
Elbaf is
those.
quite literally being referred to as the strongest nation in the world. So much so that no emperor would dare launch an invasion, and when it comes to the world governments, they can't even think of the word giant without slightly soiling themselves. To be fair, that may also be because the 5 Elder Stars are quite a continent at their various old ages, but there would be no
There
great
is that.
fortress to keep something like this safe. We are,
I like
however,
his
missing
Darkwing
a
Duck t-shirt,
giant
that's cool.
piece of this puzzle, which is who has a good enough relationship with the giants to convince them to take charge of what is to them a glorified paperweight. This is often where the name Shanks will come up, even though to date we know nothing of his connection to giants, or even if there is
We don't know much about Shanks at all. Isn't that mad? I am looking forward to Usopp getting involved with more giants again, though.
In any case, we won't go too much further into Elbaf because regardless of whether it contains a red cube or not, we will almost certainly be visiting there in the future. Meanwhile, the other two islands revealed in the booklet are infinitely more interesting possibilities. And the second island mentioned is Vera. And I know what you're going to say. What the crap is Vera, Mr. Internet Man?
Is that Blackbeard's
Well,
place?
Vera, sometimes also translated as Villa, is an island that we have never seen, which I imagine is going to make this section slightly painful for my editor. Sorry, but whatever. But it is an island that has been referenced multiple times and clearly holds a place of importance within the mind brain of Eiichiro Oda. The first mention of this was in chapter 96, which was so long ago that we were still in
Wow,
double
that's
digits.
dead early.
Nami buys a newspaper from the newsburb, and one of the first things she reads is that the kingdom of Vera had recently been subject to a coup d'etat. And we would later learn in the Grand Element starter book that this coup was instigated by the Revolutionary Army. Vera would then go on to be mentioned a second time. And not only that, but it would be mentioned again by Nami, and again whilst reading a thing. This time it was on Jaya, and Nami was reading Nolan's logbook, where an entry dated 400 years ago tells of Nolan and his crew setting sail from the, quote, lively town of Vera.
Oh,
now,
whoa.
even back in these days, One Piece theories, they were rampant. And a reader confronted Oda about this in the SBS of Volume 25, which, funnily enough, as we know now, is the one with the 4 emperors on it.
Interesting.
But Oda's response to this question was very interesting. Oh, well spotted. 400 years ago when Nolan visited it, Vera was indeed just a merry town. But these days it's a violent and dangerous country in the midst of a coup d'etat. But it's not really so much what's
It's amazing that he's got all this world built up in his head, like.
around the world at this time. I think you'll discover what I mean in the near future. Not as large as Alabasta. It's just a small country in the Grand Line. So hold off on your sightseeing trips. So Oda is both downplaying Vera here as a bit of an don't worry about it, but also upplaying it as well with the whole see.
Yeah, wait and see what happens, wink
One thing
wink,
I do
yeah.
like about this possibility is the concept of the Revolutionary Army having the final word Poneglyph, because at the very least it would explain why Blackbeard has been so focused on attacking them. However, the idea, rather unfortunately, falls apart pretty quickly. The big problem is that if the Revolutionary Army had a word Poneglyph, then Robin would have known about them. Which, and I mean, unless she's engaging in the finest acting of all time when she discovered the word Poneglyph on Zo, is all but impossible. There are other problems as well, like Vera, apparently it's a big enough kingdom for Nami to have heard of it, but it's also small enough to not really be a secure spot for one very, very important treasure cube. So look, at this stage, I would rule Vera out entirely. And that's actually really good news, because that narrows down our list of options from this many
to 2.
And our third island is the idea that I far and away like the most.
Yeah, man.
Third possible location
Blackbeard.
is Hachinosu, also known as Beehive Island or Full of Lead Island for complicated languagey reasons. In Japanese, the word beehive can also be used as a bit of an adjective to describe someone being riddled with bullets. Hence why it's called full of lead in English, as in full of lead. But for simplicity's sake, I just use Hachinosu. It's also where a certain one Mr. Blackbeard currently
let's
resides, as well as
go.
where the Rocks Pirates originally formed, and most importantly of all, the site of the very first Davy backfight. No doubt featuring some sort of grand foxy ancestor. It's often described in the series and its accompanying materials as the most piratey of all
Most
of the
piratey.
islands. The very classical sense of pirate, that is, the whole yarmy hearty.
Arr.
And there's a decent logical flow here as well, because prior to Blackbeard inheriting the role of landlord, this island would have been under the control of Whitebeard, which works very well because he was also the protector of Fishman Island, where the final road Poneglyph originally was. So Whitebeard
Makes
sees that and
sense.
goes, if you like, I can protect that there rock a bit better than you. And so he transforms
it's
into
there.
Hachinosu, thus
And now
forcing
Blackbeard's got
an
it.
even greater stalemate of power, because in that case, 3 of the 4 road Poneglyphs are now under the direct command of an Emperor of the Sea. It also opens up a ton of other possibilities, such as why Marco is currently on Wano. For example, maybe the whole crew is having a little bit of a chit-chat, and Robin, she's bragging about deciphering those 3 Poneglyphs, but has no clue where the last one is. And then Marco just goes, oh, I know where the rock thing is, follow me, guys. Which gives Marco a much deeper narrative purpose to being on Wano. Because as it is, he's cool, I like pineapples, I like birds, I like them together, but I feel like Mako and Wano still has yet to fulfill that
What he's actually there for, yeah.
He would also do something important for Blackbeard as well, which is to actually give our main antagonist a chance in this fight, because otherwise right now he's sitting on 0 out of 4 road poneglyphs, and his chances of becoming the Pirate King are now about as low as the chances of his shower ever being turned on. This is purely my own insanity, but imagine this, right? Luffy and his forces confront Blackbeard on Hachinosu, but in true pirate style they decide to engage in a Davy back fight for the Poneglyphs. Probably a significantly more serious and of course deadly Davy back fight.
Right.
I would absolutely love for that to be brought back into things. And I'm not gonna lie, a lot of that is because I just love Long Ring Longland. And for that ridiculous arc to set up the climax of the entire series...
Would be quite funny, wouldn't it? It'd be really interesting if that's the case.
So right now, I would personally believe Hachinosu to be the most logical conclusion for our final location, and it would be kind of sad if our pirate manga never got to have an adventure on the literal pirate island. Now, with all of the things that I've said, there are some disclaimers about the Road to Laugh-Tale booklet. One, this was not written by Oda. Important details may or may not have been checked with him, we don't really know. So even though this is official material...
I thought it was... Okay, so he is on a break. Cool.
Something more along the lines of official fan fiction. Secondly, there is also, in a tiny box, a list of other, quote, possibilities of random locations we've never been to, like, say, Raijin Island, but the 3 they specifically singled out are Elbaf, Vera, and Hachinosu. One weird thing about this, though, that we never address, why didn't King Neptune tell Robin that there was another poneglyph on Fishman Island? And furthermore, why didn't he tell her what it said, where it was taken, and by whom? So I really do feel like Neptune kinda really screwed us over there. But where do you think the final road poneglyph is? Please
I want it to be with Blackbeard, man.
Comment, please. And then go and check out this next video because it is about One Piece, and I think you like One Piece, so I look forward to seeing you there.
Yeah, man, I really want it to be with Blackbeard. I want it to be like a quest to go to find Blackbeard now, and then we see what's been happening along the way. Like, I want them to have to travel past places and see all this, because stuff's been happening, man. Stuff's been happening outside of Wano, and it's like, we need to get out of Wano and on our way to somewhere, so we know we're on a journey there, but see everything else going on as it's been happening. But yeah, cool. Thank you to my patrons. If you want to have your name at the end of every video, I upload links in the description to the Patreon page. $1 a month is all that helps support the channel. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you guys for that. Thank you all for watching. What do you guys think of that? What do you guys think of this? Click like, subscribe if you haven't already. Leave comments down below. Let me know what I should watch and discuss in future videos. I'll see you guys next time.